विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ।
Hello listeners, you're listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz podcast program on STEM popularization, catalyzed and supported by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India and Media for Community Foundation. Project devised and designed by Dr. R. Sridhar and assisted by Ashish Tiwari. Local coordination and production, Professor Subramanian. Content writing by Priyanshu and post-production by Professor Kaushik P. Kanchan of Garden City University, Bangalore.
Garden City University, conquer we shall all adversity. GCU, emphasis on life. GCU, emphasis on life.
In our previous segments, we traced his inspiring journey from Vijayawada to the international research state and explored how he's shaping the future of nanoscience in India. Now, we zoom in on what lies ahead. In this episode, we'll uncover some of the most promising innovations emerging from his lab, from novel nanoparticles and hybrid materials to scalable nanotechnologies with real-world applications. We'll also hear his thoughts on leadership in science, the value of interdisciplinary collaboration, and how India can position itself as a global hub for nanoscale research and development. Stay with us as we wrap up this powerful story of vision, science, and impact.
The way we look forward to, or the way we tackle these laws, is that one great thing that maybe I am biased again towards the science. Science teaches you is that analyze, right? Where did it go wrong? Right? Why did it go wrong? Right? And many a times, maybe if I have a few minutes, I will try to share a personal experience. Right? Where I was doing a postdoc in US, and then I was doing an experiment. The experiment gave some good results. Okay, and we published what is called a paper. Okay, and then the paper was good, but few months or maybe a year later, I was asked to repeat the experiment. I was not getting the same result, right? And obviously it's a law, right? A result that we have already published is now not getting reproduced, right? So it would be very an embarrassing moment for anybody. But we analyzed, and then we found that some amount of water was entering into the reaction, which is not good for the reaction. But because of that, we are getting a new product. Okay, because we could analyze where we went wrong. Initially, when we were doing the experiment, there was no water. But when we were repeating the experiment, there was a small amount of moisture, not even water. And that moisture was spoiling the reaction. Once we realized that it is the moisture that is spoiling the reaction, we started doing experiments in a controlled way, where we started adding measured amounts of water. Okay, and then we started getting a new product. The first experiment, what I would term as a successful experiment, was published in a journal called Chemistry of Materials, which the journals have a ranking based on what is called an impact factor, which has a good impact factor. Right? This failed experiment where the water was entering into the reaction and we could not reproduce, and then finally we figured out, got published in another journal called Journal of American Chemical Society, which has a higher impact factor, and we also filed a patent. You see, so science has always teaches you there will be experiments that may not work, but you need to analyze why it is not working, right? So that is what is important. Science teaches you that, right? Any field, a scientifically bent mind should have that. So you analyze what went wrong and try to correct it, instead of feeling that, oh, it did not go my way. Right? Instead of doing that, you start analyzing what went wrong, and then how I can understand from that, learn from that, and then overcome whatever the hurdles that we face. Yeah. I would say it is both by chance and also some motivation, both my parents and my teachers. Right? As any would have expected, after my bachelor's, I had this opportunity of writing these competitive exams and then taking a job. But my father, who was a central government employee, had gotten a job during his second year of bachelor's. right, as a clerk, right? So he somehow felt that he could not finish his education. He said that please don't do that, right? So don't stop education. I would support you as long as I could, right? So he supported me to go for masters, right? And when I went to study masters in University of Hyderabad, it really opened up my view, right? What is going on? University of Hyderabad is a fantastic university. Hyderabad Central University, as it is known, is a fantastic university with world-class leaders, at least in the School of Chemistry and all the sciences and all the fields, frankly. And that opened up my eyes, what is happening at the world level, right? And then I decided to pursue PhD, again thanks to my parents' support. They said please go ahead. So the first impetus for me to become and pursue career in science came from my parents, who said that please do not follow the standard path, but go for a slightly different path, because my father was keen on me continuing education. And then once I joined University of Hyderabad, obviously that feel for it got me excited, and then I continued working in that area. Again, if I give some examples, all of us know, whether it is a sports person, whether it is a music, prodigy, whether it is anybody, right? What would have happened if their parents also insisted that they do not become that, right? So we should always think like that, unless we support. But I'm very happy to see these days that parents taking extra efforts to make people pursue a career in sports or music or any other field, right? So this is happening probably because now the aspirations, we became open to the world scenario, because information is available to us now, right? So that is what it is. But I think to the younger generation, what I would say is that there are many opportunities, hidden opportunities, right? With a good sound knowledge of any particular field and a passion, they can excel in any field. Now I want to also tell you another example, right? Okay, there is a university called Princeton University, very famous university, one of the top ranked universities in the world, where there is a center called Institute of Eminence. Okay, and Institute of Eminence, the chair professorship was once held by Professor Einstein, right? Albert Einstein, whom all we know, right? But another Indian also held a position there. His name was Bhadiraj Krishnamurthy, Professor Bhadiraj Krishnamurthy. He was a professor of language. Who would expect a professor of language to become a chair professor in Princeton University? But he was an authority on Dravidian languages, right? He was a linguist. He started researching on how words will come out, how words are generated, how words will form, right? Whenever we are saying a word, this word was probably not existing several hundred years ago, right? We started learning to speak, and then we invented words, right? How did this word come, right? He was researching on that, and therefore he was an authority, world authority, right? And then he held a position in Princeton University. So language professor, a Telugu professor, holding a position equivalent to Professor Albert Einstein, all by passion. I think that is what we need to stress on to the parents or to the younger generation. Follow your passion, right? With, of course, commitment, and I think results will come out very nicely. I am deeply interested in literature, music, and also movies. These are the three things that I am very, very interested. And in literature, because I come from Andhra Pradesh, I am more interested in Telugu language and then its literature, but in connection with several of other languages. Like, for example, I was quite fascinated to know that several of the words that we speak, or several of the practices that we do in South India, are also practiced by people in Japan. Okay, and the Japanese language, we can speak South Indian languages. Those are called Oriental languages. And the grammatical structure of a sentence between Japanese and several of our languages is exactly the same, right? So these are these excite me. So wherever I go, I try to learn from their culture and then see what are the similarities that exist between different cultures. And this again is a great opportunity that is being given by this career in science, that is giving me to go several places, visit them, talk to them, understand them, right? Just recently I visited Germany and then was trying to understand what are the similarities that they have and we have, what is their culture, our culture. So apart from science, I also would like to know all these kinds of things.
You were listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz, a podcast on STEM popularization, catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India. Tune in for more such episodes to Vigyan Ki Awaaz on this platform and also through Spotify, YouTube and Apple Music platforms.
आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की